That's right, man. You are still tuned in on your greatest young show on land, right here on Keith Ngesi Radio with myself, Baby Sihu. And in case you didn't know, now you should know that KNR is not your average radio station. We are radio beyond frequency, but most importantly, we are radio according to you, and we're broadcasting live from Vincent, East London. But we're not limited by the confinements of East London, nor of Eastern Cape, nor of South Africa. We are international. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by simply going to knrapp.co.za. I repeat, that is knrapp.co.za. But I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I never roll alone because what's the use of having a conversation if it's just me talking? It's not a conversation, mostly a monologue. So we're conversating today, and we're talking about one of my favorite topics because the show is Young Purpose, and we're talking about how we as young people could just occupy the right spaces, take charge and be at the forefront of everything that is growth related in our society. And today I have just the young people who are doing the most in taking up space and just occupying the right spaces in society. I have in fact, I'm not going to introduce you guys because I believe you know yourselves better than I do. So now I'll say a lot, and you'll be like, "Aibo Obuhle, why are you saying all these things?" And then I'll say little, and then you'll be like, "Aibo, in grade 2 I got an award. Why don't you mention that? Give me my accolades." So I'm just going to give you the chance to just define and own your story quickly.
Okay, my name is Sbu Ngxangashe. I'm not that of a well-known guy, but I come from West Bank, but I grew up in Ekasi in Tanzania.
Awes,
That's where
awes.
I grew up. That's where I got to learn a lot of stuff. But when I came this side in West Bank, that's where the hustle started.
Okay.
I believe even though we are in Ekasi, the hustle might not start there at some point. It might start when you go in a place where people are hustling the most, where people are starting to do for a living. It started there, but I'll talk more about me when time goes. But I grew up from Ikasi, then went to West Bank, and that's just it. Yeah.
Always. Over to you, sir. I like how you're looking at him. You're like, ah. Is this like a proud moment for you as Uputi? Like,
Yeah, it is. He's not of a talker, so when he talks, I'm like, yeah, son.
Okay, hey, son, hey, son, hey,
It's about to
son.
start.
Yeah. Okay, Max. I'm known as Max in my industry, but my original closer name is Omhle. Yeah. I don't know how it comes to being a guy, but okay, it's Omhle. Yeah. So I'm also a Kasi guy. Grew up in Tanzania. Anyone,
Always,
you know.
always.
Yeah, I'm Kasi full.
So this is Mdantsani.
This is
We're
Tanzania.
Yeah.
You see. Yeah, dominating. You see. So I'm Omhle, grew up in Tanzania. Currently in West Bank as well. I live that side. What else about
You
me?
love your bank, ne? Everything that's got to do with
See,
the bank.
please, you think fresh.
Yeah, no, the bank, guys.
You're not congested.
The
Trying to highlight the
bank.
money.
Okay, that's where we're at. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
We don't want to
Okay,
go there.
we didn't want to go there, but okay, yeah, we are there. Okay, yeah. When the space allows you, terminate it. So that's me. I'm a sound engineer by profession.
Hey.
I do streaming as well. Okay, I grew up here. I've got Keith Ngxangashe. So yeah, I also grew up in. So yeah. Most people know me around being stage technician, lighting, and sound. You see, so yeah. Get into detail later.
When people say engineer,
Yeah, it does. It does. People like nigga said what?
Like, okay, suppose no way, but like, oh,
Okay.
oh, engineer.
Wow,
So
okay.
you're that guy.
Yeah,
right?
you're that guy. You're the
that
DJ guy.
You get that a lot when you walk into spaces and you're like,
but-
I'm the sound engineer.
Yeah,
and then,
I do get it, but people, twist it around being a DJ. That's the worst part. I'm like,
okay.
oh, so you're a DJ.
And it's
I'm like,
disrespectful.
it's not that it's disrespectful, but I understand people don't really understand, the
Okay.
full, amount of being a sound engineer. So
Okay.
I kind of like, no, yeah. I do explain to some, but some I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm a DJ, it's fine. Yeah, I'm a DJ, yeah, DJ.
DJ.
I DJ there. I don't DJ on stage. I like it there.
Does it work for you where, for example, you're in this social spaces and you're like, hey, DJ, come, yo, you know the hands, because the hands and DJs, they're like,
Yeah, they do. You know, they do. They do come out,
Yeah.
but along the way, you do kind of, get humble based
you're
on the
just
fact that you've ate that fruit.
no,
You know,
okay,
and then you're like, nah, I can't eat from this fruit anymore.
I love that. And this is why we're having this conversation. You know, a lot of young people are swayed by the fruit.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, everything is about the fruit. Ooh, like a fruit. And then you forget that sometimes you just need to plant. You need to
Yeah,
start your
exactly,
own thing.
exactly.
And that's why
exactly.
we're having this conversation, Sbu.
Yeah.
I know he's a hustler. Yo,
Yeah,
he loves making money. Wait, money
He
is
loves
involved.
money.
Just,
Yo, this
Uber
guy.
Sbu. And I was like, man, you need to come on,
Yeah.
because you might just think it's something you're doing. But for me, as a young person who is aware of a lot of young people who are at a place where they have the opportunity to work at something but don't use it. They have
Yeah.
the resource to work at something but don't use it. And when you're like, I'm just doing this for myself,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
actually something, it's actually a hustle, it's
Yeah.
See-
entrepreneurship, it's hustlepreneurship. How did you get to that point of saying, hey, listen, Jonga man,
Yeah.
ndifuna uqala ukwenza imali ngoku. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
yeah.
wait until I go to school, because
Yeah.
that's what we do, Tina. We're
Yeah.
like, get a
It's
job,
like a
graduate.
process of some
It's
sort.
like
Must all
it's like a
follow.
formula. Mna ngengititshala kuze ndifune imali.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it all started in high school. I kind of had a struggle in high school due to what my parents were going through a separation. I'm the eldest. I'm the first son.
Ayindlali.
So yeah, I was the one who was actually getting the blows of what was happening in the relationship between my parents. So I started struggling in high school. But after that, I realized, you know what? I can make a name for myself. I can do something for myself. It all started simply in videos, posting videos while doing something on WhatsApp, and I saw that if I'm gonna continue doing this, then I need to be something, and I'll need to say to someone, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. You see, so it all started in high school, where I was like, you know what, I don't want to depend that much on high school, because I can see that I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And what if I don't make it? If I don't make it, then what's the plan?
Yeah.
And it's a matter
Is it
of
the end of the world?
yeah, it's
even?
the end of the world. Yeah, because most of the people it goes like that. So I was like, you know what? Let me make a plan for myself.
Yeah.
Let me try to skill myself. First of all, you've got to have a skill. If you don't rely much on education, then you gotta have a skill. So I was like, my parents would push me, maintain what you have in high school, just finish high school. So I was like, okay, I could finish high school, it's fine.
But what else?
But what else?
Yeah.
So I just said, okay, I'm in high school, I'm busy in high school, but let me do something for the moment. So the
Yeah.
minute I get out of high school, even though I could go further with my studies, but I could have a name for myself and have something. So it started. I started trying to editing. Edit. I started editing, and my my uncle is right here next to you. He's the one who he was deep.
Malume.
Yeah, he was
Malume
deep
ongaka
into that.
kwendini.
So cute. Look at me.
He
Look
was,
at me.
he was deep in editing, sound engineering, and all that. So I got some of the skills from him.
Yeah.
Then I started editing for myself. It was not for people at that time. I don't know. I had this thing of myself. I was always full of myself. I was like, yo, Sbu Ngxangashe. It was just me, and I believe that if you start praising your own self, then that's where things start to fall into place, whereby you do what you want to do and what's good for you. So I started highlighting happiness, and I started looking at happiness and wanting happiness, chasing happiness, and that led me into wanting to do something that's good for me.
That's gonna sustain that
Yes,
also.
and in that journey, I started noticing that, you know what, you're about to make a lot about yourself, and
Yeah.
you're about to make yourself a person.
Yeah.
You see, you won't rely in certain things that the world is
Expecting,
relying,
yeah.
and then the world is expecting. Then it started like that. It was basically that. So I started editing. Then I started looking forward in social media agency. Then my mother
You
was the
did
one
this yourself, by the way. No
to
one
my
said, "Hey,
no.
I didn't
boy,
give him the
yeah.
ideas.
you didn't say I." No, no, no.
Nah, nah.
Nepotism vibes, but you didn't say that.
But the fire came from that guy.
Okay,
I'm
you were
gonna tell you the
inspired by
truth.
him.
He's the one who pushed me. I was the one who was like, you know what? Now let's do a show. And he's like, okay, I'll support you. He's got the material and all that. So I've went back and forth like that, fighting for something that might highlight me and make me a person in what I understand. So he was the one. I started doing a show. Before that, I was on a. I started in an organization. It was a Christian organization.
Christian.
Yeah.
He was a Christian.
Yeah, retired Christian. You
Retired.
want
Extremely dangerous.
What? Why are you?
Yeah, no.
No, continue.
she just
No,
said
continue.
I'm
like-
only doing this because we
shocked.
don't have much time. Because I wanted us to tap into that.
You know
also.
what? Let's tap into that. It's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. But yeah, I started that, then started doing shows, and then he's the one who's been giving me fire and all that.
Okay.
So right now I'm just stuck between that and yeah. I'm social media agency. Now I'm trying to study more about PR, public relations, where I deal with the written materials of a company. So yeah.
What I like about all of this, people study PR.
Mm.
People go to university, spend 3
Yeah.
years
Bruh.
studying how to do PR. You're getting into PR.
I'm getting into
You didn't
PR.
go to school for it.
He's doing online. I'm
Yes,
like,
I'm not.
like
I'm not bashing. I'm not
University
attacking
of
anyone who
YouTube.
went to
Yeah.
school, guys. I don't want you to think. we're
yeah.
judging. No, if you
Yeah.
want to
Disclose
do, that's
that.
your
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
But you didn't go to school for it,
I
right?
didn't go to school for it, and what's amazing is that some people feel like I went to school for it. The way that I'm doing it and the way that I'm advertising things, people look at me like, yeah, bro, just do me this. I edit for them, just do me this. I run their brands. So I'm so surprised in how people think that maybe I went to school for this, but one day I just wish that I could just go study more about it.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You said something of air. In a conversation you were having with Labra. You're not gonna give him the satisfaction of Labra. But you were talking to Silk and you said, you know me, I'm always dominating,
Yeah.
and you said it's very important to dominate
Yeah.
and take up space
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
invade
Yeah.
those who are comfortable. And
Yeah.
why do you think that's important?
For me, I've noticed that as I've been growing, with the people that have been overseeing my growth, they've been too relaxed in their space. They haven't been giving me more quench into wanting more about this because they're in their comfort zone now. So I felt as if, no, man, you know what? Let me take this thing to another level.
Yeah.
What else can I make it better on this? Where else can I go? Where are they afraid to go, and where can I go above that? So I've been living in that, in my mind, and putting that in my mind. So whenever I would overstep, they call it overstepping, but I call it dominating.
Sure.
So whenever I would do that, they'll be like, yeah, how did you do that? Where did you
jump so high?
Yeah, how did you get there?
Yeah,
Where did you get the skills for that? And I'll be like, online, there's places online to get skills. You can get a lot nowadays than then. Back then there was no internet.
Yeah.
You had to like go through other universities to get those type of stuff, but now you got the internet, you've got virtual learning, that you could get the skills from the basic and then build from there. That's me. I get the basics, then I grow myself, and then I infuse me and what I've gained together. So that's me invading all of the spaces. Cause I started as a sound engineer, and I was like, okay, lockdown, okay, I'm hungry now, what am I going to eat next? I started editing. I started handling brands, took up some small brands, and then grew them into prominent brands that are out there pushing. Some are attached into cars. I don't want to bring out names. They're attached into cars. But what I mean is, I've been there. I've been pushing there.
Yeah.
I haven't had place where I'm like, yeah, I'm not comfortable here, or this is not my space, or I can't do it. If I see that, hey, Max can do this
Adjust,
and can
yeah.
manage Max's, I go in
Capitalize
all
on
in.
it,
So that's what I wanna bring out in young people, that don't be afraid. If your mentor didn't go above that, it's your turn to do it and go crazy.
Yeah.
And make sure that your mentors out there, like, yeah, is this my student? Is this me? Is this like, is this my guy? Is this who the person that I grew up?
Respect comes
Yeah,
back now.
and then the respect comes back. Even the people that are out there get to see your talent, get to see your skill, and everything you do counts. The moment you take up something, everyone is watching. That's what I learned. Every time you bring up something, everyone is watching. Everyone is like,
you learn, you take the time to, research and try out other things. When, for example, if someone is watching you on Facebook or on social media, they're watching you guys on your statuses, you're always having a good time.
Yes.
And the would think, ah man, but this guy Polile Mandlena, I can't need science and that's what a lot of young people think. You see something on social media, you see a picture of Baby Sihu, watch this video and you're like, it's so nice, it's blowing now, and they don't understand that
the
actually
grind.
behind the scenes, behind the
That's
scenes,
hard.
there are emails being sent, proposals
Yeah.
being sent. We're struggling to get equipment.
You
and
get
stuff.
blocked, you get disappointment.
There's hard work that you put in.
Yeah.
I want to be like, Max. I want
And
to
they
look
think-
like
they think
Max. I
it's
want to
easy.
smell like Max, and
Yeah,
they
I
think
think
it's
it's
easy.
easy.
Do
Yo,
you get that a lot?
Yo.
Do you get that a lot? What's your take on that?
Most of the time I used to post on my life on WhatsApp. So most of the people would see me, other people who actually have my
close.
number. So I started going on Facebook and posting on Facebook stories. And I got a response from a friend. He's like, hey, bro, since I was a Christian once, I was believing in the church. And I'm not saying I'm not a Christian, but I stopped believing in the church much. So a friend of mine texted me. He's like, hey, bro, you got to stop posting that life on Facebook. I was like, why? It's like,
whose choice is
because
it?
I mean, and then he was like, no, dude. There's some people who text me like, what's going on with Sbu? Why is he posting that life? Why is he always blowing money? Doesn't even think about future? I was like, yo, why do people actually tend to hide themselves? Because I feel like most of the time, some people tend to hide their life for people, and sometimes it's just that they're not happy for other people, and they wish they were the person posting these videos and doing these things. And I get that a lot. And some guy texts me, he's like, hey, Sbu, I don't even know you, bruh. The life you're living. I'm like, you don't know, my man, where it comes from. I mean, we sometimes don't and enjoy the life because we get comments from people like, hey, Mfowethu, why would you post?
It's too much now.
I mean, it's too much.
It's too much now. You're doing a lot now.
Don't do this. Like I drink.
They even
so-
get afraid.
Yeah, they even get afraid. I drink sometimes and then post those.
Also, it's envy, man. It's envy. Like, I wish I was doing that, but I don't have the freedom to do that.
Yeah.
Or the
It's like
need
that.
to do
It's
that.
like that. It's like that.
It's always that.
So people tend to comment, and then it's not nice. They don't understand where we get the money. They want to understand where do you get the money. They don't see the hard work, but they
don't want to put in the hard work.
They
So
don't
I
want to put in
leave.
the hard work.
Abanye bafuna ufunda.
It's the parents. They don't want to ask you, where do you get the money, buddy?
How do you do it?
How do you do it? And how can we actually do something about it so that I can live the same life? I would be actually excited to be like, you want to live this life? This is the life that everyone deserves.
Yeah.
You understand? Happiness everyone deserves. So I just feel like people should just tap and look more into that life, knowing what we're doing actually and what people do to live that life.
Why do you think young people are scared, man? Why do you think we're? Because personally, I do feel that as much as we are the future of tomorrow and we have these brilliant ideas, because a lot of young people have brilliant ideas. I always say this to people, like, hey guys, listen, I'm not the extraordinary like young person. There's nothing too dope about me. It's just that I
the
saw.
guru.
I'm not there. I saw a gap.
Went in.
So then, I went in for it. I'm not necessarily the most articulate young person. There are more people that are, articulate than I am. But I am here because I was like,
okay.
And even those, those gaps.
So why do you think young people are scared of
going into
these spaces and just going after what it is that they want to do? And
I think the first fear is not knowing who they'll become into the space. That's the first thing. And the second thing is not being the space before you enter the space.
Oh, that's deep.
First you need to be the space within you. You know, you need to feel that, okay, I'm gonna be a broadcaster. How am I gonna be when you're at home behind the mirror, in front of the mirror? How are you? Are you being that person, or you wanna be like, I'll see it when I get there? That's a problem. I'm gonna see it when I get there, and then when they get there, they don't know how. Like, where's north, where's south, where's west? They don't know nothing, you know, because they even became the person, you know, within the space, you know. So I think the fears are around that, and the fact that even their background or their
Yeah.
current situation doesn't allow them as well. So there is a lot that comes into play within, you know, a young person being, you know, there and hustling and
Yeah.
pushing and becoming the person that they really want to
And
be.
it depends what you hustle for.
Yeah, and exactly. What
are you
is your
hustling
hustle, anyways? You know, yeah, what is your hustle? Because there's hustles that really demand you to stick into the education system, you know, and that is a hustle whereby now you have to hold the education system and still hold, you know, your
Yeah.
track of hustling, you know. So there's a lot that comes into play, and and we don't get like support,
Yeah.
family
Yeah,
wise.
no.
That's another
It's,
thing. Our parents will
they
tell
don't
you,
understand it.
no, you know, stick to education,
Skolo,
scholar, you know, scholar.
skolo.
Yes, it worked for them, but now us, there's many ways of making money. There's forex, there's Shiba, you know, there's
Sheep.
You
equity,
just take a
equity,
video, you post it on TikTok,
bra.
Yeah, you
you're
get
making
You
famous.
know,
X.
there's a lot you can exactly TikTok. You can make money. They even poach you to do ads for them.
Yeah.
You know, so there's many ways of making money. You know, even with, remember we spoke offline about young people like Kukimoto Kokoin
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
that you
With
that's
the
can
a
use.
card,
good one.
no.
For instance, Sbu,
Mm.
the bucket at home, it's not just chilling there and getting washed and then
Yeah.
people say, there you nice and take a bit. No, it's loading stuff. Like even my equipment, I hire him for my equipment. I pay him.
Like,
Bro,
dude,
so,
please.
so,
You know,
bro,
I don't ask him like, please, bra. No, I understand. He needs to
He's
make
a
a living.
business. He needs
You
to
know,
make money.
he needs to make money. So I pay him full amount. I don't like, okay, I braish. I'm getting this much from this gig.
Because
So
you're my.
no, 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 no. He sends me invoice. I even teach him the professional way.
Bah.
You know, he quotes me before I show the client. This is how much I charge for the transportation for the gear, and then he invoices me after the gig. I pay him straight. You know, so there's a level whereby young people need to also tap into getting professional. Not saying, hey, I was unborn, bra. That's another thing you need to stop.
Yeah.
Uzunbone. Stop that thing. Okanye,
yeah.
you'll see what you'll do. You
Yeah.
know, that's another thing. You must be strict in your field. You must be straight
Must
and
believe in yourself. He said that.
yeah,
You must.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
must grow yourself within.
Yeah.
You know,
Take yourself seriously.
yeah.
Take
No
yourself
one will take you
seriously. That's
seriously
another
if you
thing.
like Nibone bra. Hey, come on now.
Kaloku usilika fruit mos.
Exactly. Hey, yeah. So
Usilika
yeah,
fruit.
yeah. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot. You know.
Oh my god. Okay, you guys are really. I think, yeah. Hey, listen, you guys are really dope. You're doing.
What do you
You're
mean?
doing.
Come on. Don't do
Please,
that.
please.
Don't
Okay.
do that.
Flattering
No, you
us.
guys are really dope
Come on.
because
Tell
you
me
might
offline.
you might think that this is just not necessarily nothing because you guys understand the impact and you know how this is working for you, but a
Yeah.
lot of young people are stagnant, man,
They
in those
are.
spaces. A
They
lot of young
are.
people
They
are
are.
stagnant. I
They
have
are.
people I went to high school with who for example, you go to high school, you get bad marks, and you're like, you don't know what to do. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Are you staying at home?
you're like, okay, so you didn't pass. You didn't pass. Okay, now what? You didn't pass. Now what? Well, what's gonna happen now?
And
Are
the
you
person
gonna
is still
die?
looking at you as if you are wrong.
Are you not smart because you are you not smart now simply because you failed academics? The people
Is
who
that the
go the
only way?
academic route and still not make it, bro. There are people who are sitting at home
Bruh.
with degrees,
Ease.
don't know what
Layers
to do
and
with
layers.
them. People are sitting at home with degrees and they still don't know what to do with them, you know. And here you are saying, bro, I don't got that degree, haven't studied for this,
Bro.
but I will do it, you know, and I'll
Yeah.
make something out of myself. How important is that to you? You know, making something out of yourself,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, it's just, hey man, I just want to survive, man. You know, and when you want to survive, you don't care much about building a brand, you know, establishing yourself. You just want to make
In
it
this century.
ukuja, you know.
In this century. Yo.
How important is that, building a brand, building a name for yourself?
That's very important for me. It's an excitement. I won't lie to you. Feeling calling yourself what you want to call yourself, and the feeling that you get after it is so much. I won't lie to you. That, for example, me, I always I've edited myself in my back home. The TV there is the plasma screen. I put Sbu Ngxangashe. When we actually not watching TV, then it goes on like Sbu Ngxangashe. The feeling when I
And
get
you
out
get
of
to believe into that, you
when I
know?
get out of my room and like the dining room, like looking at the plasma like Sbu Ngxangashe. Like, oh man, oh it's me Sbu Ngxangashe. I mean, it starts there when you actually proud of your own self.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
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 man,
yeah.
yo,
And
Sbu
of your
Ngxangashe.
work as well.
Yeah, you're like, yo, Sbu Ngxangashe, this guy is good.
Yeah.
And then your sister starts saying that, like, Sbu Ngxangashe, like it starts in the family.
Yeah,
then,
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
the excitement that you
establish
get.
it.
And when you get outside, your walks change. You know the way that you
The way
behave.
Present
You
yourself,
see?
yeah.
And then people say, oh, the confidence this guy
Yeah.
has. He's
And
gotta
then
be someone.
I hate that. You know, this thing where people mistake confidence for arrogance. They're like, oh, yes, yes, and I'm like, yes, now what's wrong with that?
Even
What's
the same.
wrong with telling
Here's the
me?
worst thing: is the same person saying that is the same person who's behind you, like, yeah, I got your
Yeah.
back, man. Yeah, Amba, yeah. And then,
It's the same person who's saying,
And that's why.
uyazibasela le, benzobaselwa ngubani.
Bye.
That's another
Yeah,
thing. Benzobaselwa. I get that a lot.
And that's
Like,
why I call them fans, those people.
yeah,
because
no, because they're
that's why
following your every move.
once you notice that India's Marcela, then that means that you're looking at me.
You're watching.
You're
yes.
watching every move.
You're
I'm like,
watching.
yeah, he's a fan. I'm like, yes, Marcela. I'm like, yeah, you're a fan. You're a fan. You're a fan. So
I mean, you only live once at the end of the day.
Hey man, I have a problem with that guy.
Yeah,
Now I always say, instead of saying you only live once, you die once.
yeah,
You live every day of your life.
yeah,
And you
yeah,
either,
yeah,
you would
yeah,
either
yeah,
live
yeah,
your
yeah,
life
yeah. That's a new one.
miserably.
I stole that. I stole
Okay,
it.
yeah, no.
I'm taking
Yeah,
You can
I
either
gotta-
live your life miserably every day of your life until you die that one
Yeah.
time, and you'll seek for happiness.
Yeah.
And leave the people who are busy on some as Basela or
Yeah.
behind. Let them not Basela themselves and see what they will make out
Yeah.
of themselves. You know?
Yeah. And here's the thing, you know, the fear of young people is saying, yo, Sbu, don't let. That's it's an ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, is us not a P. You know, we're so young, we can do a lot. Yet we don't wanna come together and form something.
Yeah.
In East London, there's like platforms for days.
Yo.
For days.
Not just that, there's talent also.
There's talent that you can utilize.
Great young minds.
Oh God.
I don't want to go there because I feel
Yeah,
like
it hurts, bro. The thing, it hurts because you see people that like they've got the thing. They are the, you know, they are the thing.
And you look at someone, I know that a lot. You know, I look at some people and I'm like, hey man, I know I'm doing this, and not in a bad way, not that I'm undermining myself, but I'm like, that person would be great for where I'm at. It's just that,
That person.
you know, I'm like, you are so amazing, but you
Yeah.
don't even know.
You-
And you do know, but there's nothing you're doing
Yeah.
about it. Why?
And there's this other thing I hate with young people.
Mm.
I've got to highlight this. It's my view.
Mm.
You know, this thing about I'm waiting for funding.
In the funding.
Right, that's deep.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'm waiting for funding, and the person like staying there at home watching movies the whole day and keep saying I'm waiting for funding. Like, where are we?
say that,
Are we gonna survive through funding now? You know, which is something that I really don't understand. How does that work?
Yeah.
You know, so I think it's something that we really need to wake up to.
Yeah.
You know that, you know, in life, not everything is gonna come on a golden, you know, teaspoon or.
What if the funding doesn't come? What if you
What, yeah,
wait
exactly, and you're gonna
forever?
wait for like 40
Are you
years.
gonna wait forever because the funding didn't come?
Exactly. You know, you need to push. You know, you're gonna attract those type of stuff when you're pushing along the way.
Yeah.
People are gonna start seeing that. You know, it might not be the actual finding that you were waiting for. It might be a guy that's gonna say, "Hey, bruh, I see your grind and I see potential in what you're doing. Here's, you know, 5 million or 10 million. Go on." You know. So I mean, you are doing something. Get up in the morning, find something.
Yeah.
Attach yourself.
I hate
Attach
that
yourself
we
to something.
started this bit late. Yeah, I was like, even if it's 5:30, you should be here because
Yeah.
we're running out of time.
Yeah.
The next show is up
Understandable.
at 2, and we
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
make sure that we're out of here before 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
by
yeah.
2 o'clock, it's no longer my show. I think we can continue this
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah.
because there's a lot to say. There's
There's a
to
lot.
say,
There's a lot, and I need
want us
people
to
to engage
unpack
as
it,
well.
Yes, to engage.
Yeah.
Singai rush because we want to finish up and
Yeah.
get the time. So next
yeah,
week
yeah.
we're doing
Fine
it.
with
We're
me.
crunching it
We're
down.
having it, we're extending it. So this is
Yeah.
not goodbye. This is just saying, hey guys,
To
we
be
don't have time now.
continued.
To be continued. This is
Very
just
interesting.
Most
this
of
is
y'all
just
won't
the
know that.
intro.
We used to watch movies that are like that. To be continued.
To be
And we're like,
continued.
oh, come on.
When it's
Staring
interesting.
up on
But
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we leave, any last words? Just something a young person who's watching right now that they should remember, or you would like for them to know quickly.
Okay, from my side, I've already got it.
Yeah.
Me, I want this. Since we're gonna be doing this next week,
Okay.
I want even if it's one young person that's gonna tell me next week that I've started this so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've gotten so far.
Okay.
That's what I want to hear next week from anyone who's going to be engaging with us. Like, how far have you gotten?
Yeah.
What have you done so far? That's what I want to hear, from my side. If I can get that, that'll be very encouraging.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a challenge. That's
Yeah,
a
it's a,
challenge
it's a quite a yeah, it's a challenge.
Aight.
That's what I want to live out.
I bet. Sbu?
I'll just motivate and say, try everything so you can know what you're good at, and then you can attack that specific position and be successful in. So just try everything in your power.
Yeah.
And it's just basically that. We're running out of time, so
Yeah.
next week.
And for me, it's something that you guys said. I took it from you guys. It's very important for you to define yourself in accordance to who you are and not what other people think of you.
Yeah.
If they like you, good. It's good for
yeah.
them. If they don't, it's still good for
It's
them.
fine.
It's not about you. So suba hoya, be arrogant, whatever. It's okay. Just do your own thing. And if you're happy, go for it.
Yeah.
With that said, man, catch us next week. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be lovely. This is just the taste. Ngxangashe.
Yeah,
From Young Purpose, we're out of here.
Peace out.
Peace.